Hello, and happy belated Halloween. This episode isn't especially spooky as much as I would have liked that. It does, however, get pretty dark at the end. It also gets pretty sad. Honestly, the session was very fun because it hit a lot of those moody themes. Before we get into it, I'm happy to announce that I'll be running some community one-shots soon. These are free for anyone to join, and we'll be using the Shiver system, which is super easy to pick up, so don't worry about learning the rules ahead of time. If you want to participate, head over to our Discord and sign up. There's a link in the description. And while you're down there, you might as well like and subscribe. When we left off, our heroes had been speaking with Mimnivix and offering him gifts in order to free the captured boss Scrong. Things had taken a turn when they had tried to offer Tiny as a trade, and Mimnivix had moved closer to have a taste. Since any damage to Tiny would actually be damage to Sesto, they had to take action, and we rolled initiative. Our heroes suspected that Mimnivix wasn't alone, but had failed to see any additional threats. Once combat started, though, his Dream Spider allies also jumped into action. During this fight, Mimnivix and the spiders used their climb speeds and the webs to their advantage, moving up the walls to prevent melee attacks. The web lurker noose traps were also put to good use, as Mimnivix used a reposition action to slide Tiny into a trap, and then left him immobilized for the first half of the battle. This left the Eidolon dangling and being nipped at by the spiders. The second trap was triggered by May as she moved towards Boss Scrong to help him. She was also dragged into the air, but she managed to escape immediately. As she wanted to free Boss Scrong, I decided that it would take 3 actions to free him, but they didn't need to be consecutive. Despite repeatedly retreating to the ceiling, the party were able to regularly blast him with ranged attacks, which did chip away at him steadily. Sesto and Milo used Recall Knowledge to gather some information about Mimnivix, such as that he has no specific weaknesses and that his bite can inflict a nasty poison. I had Mimnivix spit out pretty childish, petty insults whenever they hit him. Things like insulting Sesto's height or calling Milo a nerd, things like that. The players enjoyed laughing at these insults, and it motivated them to try and kill Mimnivix. As he and his spiders began to get low, they began to realize that they couldn't beat the party in an open brawl. While on the ceiling, they started to hide and sneak through the webs. This gave them a minor advantage, but it still wasn't enough, and a couple of rounds later, Sesto landed a killing blow. The remaining spiders tried to scatter, but they were also dispatched. During the final moments of the battle, Ornifex had used the Seek action to try and find one of the hidden spiders. While she had missed the spider, she did notice Mimnivix's collection of special items below his desk. She scooped these into her bag to be identified later. Once the battle was over, May freed Boss Scrong from the web prison.
How did you end up here?
I was exploring, and I thought I'd found a lovely little new kingdom, but it seems it's been claimed already.
Have you thought maybe it's time you move on? I don't think this is the safest place for you, especially not further down, by yourself.
I've always lived here. It's not really fair to evict me.
Wouldn't you rather leave than die? It's not a threat, This is the second time you've been held captive, and I highly doubt it's going to be the last.
I'm quite capable. They just took me by surprise.
Okay, if you say so. On your adventures, have you found anything else of interest?
Well, I've been here since I saw you last.
No. You didn't get very far, did you?
Well, it's not my fault.
That's fair. It was whatever his name was. But, I mean, I think it's pretty safe here now. At least as I recall, I think we've cleared out most of this place.
Maybe I'll collect my last subjects.
Boss Scrong, despite his recent failures, is still an ambitious creature. Giving up and moving on isn't something he's willing to do, and I'd like to keep him around for future shenanigans. While the players really like Boss Scrong, the characters are still aware of the threat he might pose if left unchecked.
But if
Oh, that's
you
good.
stay here, and if we let you stay here, you've got to promise no attacking Atari.
Well, I've got to attack somewhere.
Just not Atari. Yeah? Just attack downwards.
Like we are.
Yeah, because then we can be
I don't
comrades.
know. I'm not sure about that. I've heard a lot of nasty things below. Screaming, dying, wailing,
Yeah.
choking, bleeding.
What are you planning to do now? Continue your exploration, or are you going to stay here?
Well, if you hadn't killed the spiders, I would have taken them for my own. But now
Alright.
I'll have to go find some new insects and bring them back here.
Still not Takatari, of course.
No, of course not.
The Winksy. He wasn't really taking the group seriously. They'd saved his life twice after all, so they tried to get a bit more forceful.
So you do realize that we will kill you if you try, right?
Well, what's this hostility?
I'm just saying.
I thought we
It's
were
kind of our thing
friends.
now. We are
Killing me?
friends, but if you become the enemy of our other friends, then you become our enemy. You see the logic there? Like, our loyalties are to our people and our town. As long as you're not an enemy to our town, you're our friend.
I'm quite taken aback by this attitude. I thought we were.
I'm just saying, I
were
don't want to
chill.
kill you, so I want to make things very clear that, not even as a joke, don't attack Atari, right?
Okay.
No beating around the bush, just plain and simple.
But on another note, I think if you continue like this, if I see your condition, you're gonna get killed anyway.
I have dreams, and they are worth dying for.
Are you sure you don't want to take a little rest so you can, I don't know, get into a better condition? It's not worth trying when you're not even at your highest.
I mean, I'll certainly take a well-deserved snooze. I might eat that weird Spider-Man over there. Get a drink from the surface. Where's Rock? You're missing one.
I had Boss Grog ask about Rock purely to see how they'd respond, and to get their minds thinking about what they're going to do about him. They didn't know whether he was dead and eaten or risen as a ghoul at this point, so they needed to start thinking about what they wanted to do. For now, though, they just explained his death to Boss Grog.
Dead?
Did he try to attack Atari?
No.
Further down are people who are not, well, easily messed with, I guess.
The ghouls.
Yes.
Oh. Well. Wait, never mind.
No, what were you saying?
I thought I heard him.
Recently?
Yes. There were a couple of people snooping around, but they got scared off by the trap room.
How recent?
I've got to be honest, time gets kind of weird when you've been stuck in a web getting fed on for a while. But
Right.
recently. It could have been you, I suppose.
Could have been, yeah. He hasn't been dead for long.
I'm not surprised you know his name. Do you know our name?
I know Milo, who told me his. I know Tiny, because you tried to offer me him.
I'm going to turn to the others when he says that. Do we offer Tiny too often?
No, I think it's a very good strategy a lot of the times.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Continue.
It's a legitimate strategy.
Yes.
I don't think I know the others. I don't know your name.
That's okay. I know yours. That's the important thing. In case anything go awry.
I suppose so.
Well, look, we're going to continue exploring. So, are you going to stay here, even with this trap room, or are you going to go through?
I think I'll stay here.
They discussed healing Boss Grog before leaving, but they decided that he'd probably just die soon anyway, and it would be a waste of healing. Meanwhile, Boss Grog had begun to chew on Mimnivix's leg.
Oh, that is disgusting. Never mind.
Yeah.
Do you want some?
Nah.
No, thank you. I'm full of spider legs, thanks.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm
They
kind of
are
only
weird.
eating him out of spite because he ate me. So it's weird that you eat spiders.
I'm gonna whisper to the others. Doesn't that mean he also eats himself now?
I was thinking that too.
Oh,
He's reclaiming himself from Meme Vix.
I think this is our cue to leave.
I think so too.
Without any further goodbyes, our heroes left this portion of the servants' quarters. I think for the next chunk of time, Boskrong will remain here, building up a new tribe of Midflits. I might also scale up his level so that he can come back later, deeper in the Gauntlight. As they walked, the heroes discussed the poor, pitiful Boskrong.
Does anyone else feel like they've just left an elderly person alone? He has old person
No.
vibes. No?
Mm.
Okay, just me.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a decent guy, but
Then you talk to him.
yeah.
You feel sorry for him, and then you talk to him, and then you leave him without feeling guilty.
I think he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
I think he's in some sort of midlife crisis.
Probably.
He
We have
needs
very
to-
important things to do, right?
Yeah, I think so does he, so let's see if our paths cross again.
The group weren't especially damaged from the fight with Mimnivix, however, they still took the time to rest and heal. They also took the time to identify the mesmerizing opal and shining sling bullets. The necklace of fireballs was beyond them right now, though, as they all tried and all critically failed to identify it. Due to running with Foundry, it's not really possible to give false answers as to what something is, because either I reveal the item to them or I don't. It would be very obvious to tell them what it is, but then not reveal the item. So I've changed the crit fail on Identify Magic to just match normal failing. It's just easier to manage that way in the virtual tabletop. Next on today's agenda was to get revenge on the Blood Siphon. Our heroes just didn't feel safe knowing that it was out there somewhere, so they made their way back to the island and descended into its space. Once ready, they opened the door, and despite not being able to see it yet, we rolled initiative. The Blood Siphon was in the northern room, but Milo, who was first in initiative, went and checked to the south. This meant that by the time he did see it, he'd used all his actions and wasn't able to back away or protect himself. May went next, and she at least knew where it was now. She rushed in, hit it a bit, and then backed out of the doorway so that she wouldn't be facing it without support. Then the Blood Siphon went. He moved to the nearest person, which turned out to be Milo, hit him for 18 damage, and then grabbed him. This is the exact mechanic that made them run last time, because while it has somebody grabbed, it can drain them pretty relentlessly to heal itself. No attack roll, only one action, as often as it wants. Luckily, it had already used all its actions, so no draining occurred yet. The rest of the group began to launch attacks at it, aware from their previous encounter that they needed to out-damage quite a lot of healing. Milo tried to use his turn to escape the grapple, but he was unable to. In a panic, he began to swing at the Blood Siphon, but didn't deal any damage. By the time he got back to the Blood Siphon's turn, it had been reduced to about half health. Since there was nothing stopping it, it began to drain Milo. All three actions were used on Blood Drain, wrecking his hit points and even damaging him once he was in the dying condition, taking him straight to dying 2. The party had no choice but to try and get this creature off of him, or he would be guaranteed dead the next time this monster acts. Luckily, Ornifex was next, and she was able to heal him, extending the time he had at least. Meanwhile, Sesto and May did as much damage as they could, until May took a chance on repositioning Milo away from the Blood Siphon. Since this would break the Blood Siphon's grapple, she had to beat its DCs, not Milo's. She succeeded and slid Milo out of the creature's reach. With nothing to heal from this time, the Blood Siphon had no choice but to try and get a new meat bag to drain. However, after attacking and damaging Tiny, he was unable to succeed the grapple, so it finished its turn injured and unable to heal. This was the lucky break that our heroes needed, and they all fell on the Blood Siphon, hitting it until in a moment of satisfying revenge, May landed the killing blow, ripping the creature apart from the inside. The Blood Siphon does have a death ability, however our heroes were more than healthy enough, and while some did fail the saving throw, they all remained standing by the end of it.
Well, that was disgusting.
Yeah.
How are you doing? I'll turn around and pull you up because you're lying on the floor still.
I felt better, honestly.
It kind of sucks, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. I can still feel it.
Well, at
My
least
entire
it's gone.
chest is just pain.
It's not even worth searching here. We've already found everything, didn't we?
It was nice to see our heroes continue to surpass and overcome previous failures. Here's hoping that the ghouls will be the next instance of this. They returned to their makeshift camp and took the time to heal and relax. It bothered them that they hadn't been able to identify the mystery necklace, so they decided that since they were so close to town, they'd just go and ask Vandy if she could identify it.
Good afternoon, Vandy. Sorry for disturbing you. Do you have a moment?
Hello, May. Sure, what can I do for you?
Well, first off, I just wanted to thank you again for your support with the townspeople, with our loss and everything like that. It means a lot.
Oh, of course.
The other thing is, if you have a moment, we found some kind of relic in the underground area of the dungeon we've been exploring, and
The Gauntlight.
we tried our best. I'm not calling it that, it's scary. We tried our best, but we don't seem to know what it is, and we just wondered if maybe you could have a look, see if you recognize it with all of your extensive knowledge. And I'll hold it out.
She gives it a little bit of a look. She doesn't take it from your hands, but she sort of looks down and then looks back at you. I mean, for a small donation to the church, I could have a look at it. O'Hara's had gotten a bit of a chip on their shoulder recently, expecting help from the NPCs for free since, they're all risking their lives to save the town. However, I can't really keep giving them freebies, so Vandy asked for a small donation. The party were willing and placed a few silvers in a donation box. Vandy then identified the necklace as a necklace of fireballs. They thanked her and promised any religious relics they found to her. The group headed out, but before returning to the Gauntlight, Ornifex wanted to have a nice meal at the Crow's Cask. Her connection to the town is that Magaloy is her cousin, so it makes sense that she would want to come here. Magaloy eagerly invited the group in, and as they took seats around a table, she came over for a chat.
Well, I've never been here. What do you recommend, Ornifex?
The stew is actually really good in here, if you like that. Can also get one of the famous drinks.
I've heard about their, what's blackberry. The blackberry drink, I believe. Something with berries.
Yeah, they're very famous for their sour blackberry ale.
I think I'll go blackberry. And I'll turn to her. One of the stews and one of the blackberry ales, please.
She gives you a nod. She gives you a nod as well.
Rum.
Magaloy gives Milo kind of like a sad smile.
Oh.
It's okay. He's probably just hiding from his mother. Am I right?
No, my father. But close.
Surprised you're in here.
Wait, is he around?
No, but your mother's staying in the Rowdy Rockfish, right? So I thought you'd be avoiding that one. You don't usually come here.
Yeah, that's true.
Since Sesto had never passed on the rumour that Milo's mother had left Gregory and moved into the Rowdy Rockfish, I had Magaloy reveal this information to him personally. Milo's backstory is the first one I integrated into the campaign, and while it saw a fair bit of time during those early sessions, any time I've tried to continue it, Milo has adamantly avoided it. I was giving him another chance to deal with this problem. If he didn't, I was going to have to add some repercussions. How long should we stay in there for?
No, I've been busy. I haven't really actually talked to her yet.
Well, we're all very sorry to hear about them splitting up and all.
Right, yeah.
She gives you a pat on the back and then heads off to get your drinks.
Oh, okay.
What did Sesto order?
She, from the bar, is like, anything for the little man?
Get a sigh. Anything you want.
You see like a really mischievous grin.
Don't say
form across her
that.
face.
I know.
Do you know who this is?
I know. On a water for the pub.
She gives you a nod. But she's suddenly very invigorated behind the bar, mixing some kind of a concoction. The group began to chat and had some much needed relaxing roleplay. They talked about the ruins of the Thirsty Alpaca, Sesto drank a questionable drink from Magaloy and went through some nasty sickness, and they had a toast to Rock. Soon, the conversation turned back to the Gauntlight.
So when we go back down there, I think our main objective is to try and recover his body, correct?
Yeah, and punish his killer.
But we've got to make sure we don't lose anybody else. Can you all
Yeah,
promise to do
but
that?
if we can't kill her, then how will we ever get further down into the darker and more dangerous depths of that place?
I'm just saying, don't make any stupid decisions to try and be a hero.
No, I'll try not to.
That goes for everybody. Gotta all get out of this. Or else it's not worth doing. I don't think the town could handle another loss. But hey, what's going on with your mum? Why is she not staying at home?
I'm so glad that May asked this. If he won't bite when I try and push the topic, maybe he'll accept the questions from his allies and actually deal with it.
I mean, I've met your dad, I can see why, but why now?
I haven't talked to them actually, so I don't know.
Maybe you should do that before we head back. Otherwise, it will stay in your mind.
Mm,
Like, what if something's happened to your family home?
I don't live there anymore.
But still, if there's been a fire or it's been destroyed, wouldn't you want to know?
I mean, hasn't there been mentioned a separation?
Yeah, someone mentioned it.
Don't you think, like, you should maybe look out for your mother then? And see if she's doing okay?
Later.
I will look at you very intensely. I don't think later is a good option here. What is if something happens to you? Wouldn't it be better to, talk to your mum now in good health?
Yeah. But I got this strange feeling that it would kind of be like saying goodbye, and that might be, that would kind of, I don't know. If I do that, then maybe the likelihood that I die is greater somehow.
I told you this was going to get sad. I hadn't been expecting this kind of response from Milo, but it is a pretty genuine way that people can end up thinking, so I have a lot of respect for taking the roleplay in that direction.
Checking in with a parent doesn't always mean goodbye. I mean, I write letters to my family all the time. They know I've got no plans to come back anytime soon, but it's never been a goodbye forever.
Yeah, that's fair. But I want to focus on the task at hand.
Do you want to at least write her a message to let her know you're okay?
I guess.
Because she hasn't seen you for how long?
I don't know, actually. How long has it been?
3 days, 4 days, and in that time, you've disappeared. Your dad is furious. Somebody's been attacked by a werewolf, and a friend you're adventuring with died. I think she deserves some kind of confirmation that you're okay.
Yeah, I see the logic.
You look around and almost the entire tavern's looking and nodding in agreement.
Yeah!
Fine, I'll write her something. Jeez.
Do you want some space? We can leave you to your writing if you want.
You can
Yeah,
go
that's
upstairs. Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
I'm not worried at all, by the way.
Worried about what?
About your mum. I don't know what's had happened. Maybe there's.
I mean, she got sick of my dad. I mean, it's about time.
She put up with it for so long. Why now? What has changed?
Let me see. He's been increasingly violent, and he kicked me out. Yeah, that'll do it, probably.
So then I think that just adds more fuel to the fire that she's on your side, right? And you deserve to let her know you're okay. So I think you focus on this letter and really tell her how you're feeling. Just let her know that you're all good.
Yeah, I will.
Milo begrudgingly began to write his letter while the rest of the group enjoyed their time at the tavern. May and Ornifex had a darts competition, which Ornifex won. They then had an arm wrestling competition in which May nearly broke Ornifex's arm. Once the letter was ready, Milo donned his hat of disguises and went to deliver it. The rest of our party gave him some space and waited by the road to the Gauntlight. He refused to give the letter to his mother directly, instead paying a stranger in the Rowdy Rockfish to hand it to her and then fleeing. Milo's mother didn't let him get far though, and upon receiving the letter, she chased down the mysterious man and began to beg to see her son. As you, I'm gonna drag you back a little bit. As
No.
you get to here, you hear footsteps running up behind you, and you turn and your mother has chased this strange man down. She just stumbles to a stop. So, I'm sorry, excuse me, How have you spoken to Milo?
That is for me to know.
Please, I haven't heard from him. Is he
He's
okay?
fine. Have you read the message at all?
Look, I looked for the name, the sign-off. If you've seen him, please tell me where he is.
He's doing important work.
But he's in danger.
Danger of his own choosing.
That doesn't make it any better. He's my son, and he's going to die.
That may be so. But he's gonna try really hard not to, as far as I know.
You see, she kind of breaks down in tears. Just looks very sort of hopeless and frail, I guess, as she stands in this rain, getting just soaked through. I was hoping that guilt or pity would be enough to make Milo confront this, but he's a stubborn guy.
He should go back.
Could you tell him to visit me at least?
He will, when he's ready.
She sadly sort of begins to turn and like head back, but she stops and if you're going up to the lighthouse, please tell Gregory to go home.
Gregory, where is he?
Oh, we had a fight. He said that as long as Milo's going to be killing himself up there, he'll deal with it first to get him to come home. So he's gone up to deal with the problem, I guess. Well. Consequences. As Milo's mother walked away, Milo hurried back to the group. At first, he tried to hide this new revelation from the others, but it seemed too important to keep to himself.
Let's go.
You okay?
Yeah.
Just yeah? Was everything all right?
Mm-hmm. It's all good.
I'm sensing from your answers that this isn't something you want to talk about, but if you need to, we're here.
I appreciate it. Now let's kill some things. Alright, also, my father might be up here somewhere.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I think he might be up here somewhere.
In the Gauntlight?
Yeah. Just an FYI.
Do you not want to find him and get him out?
Not really.
So you want him to die?
No, but I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel.
So I've tried to be pretty lenient in giving Milo time to deal with this situation, but there's only so many times you can dodge it before there just has to be a breaking point. I decided that this would be the breaking point. Milo decided to wait at their makeshift camp while the others looked for Gregory. They searched around the ruins and found nothing. They went below and searched the servants' quarters. He wasn't in the southern portion, but before too long, they walked past a doorway and saw him stood in the torture chamber, drenched in blood and surrounded by several ghoul corpses. The group, excluding Milo, who was still at camp, cautiously approached him. He seemed out of it and didn't notice the group until they were right next to him. His attitude was strange. He seemed almost giddy. As May questioned what had happened, he explained that he had killed a bunch of ghouls, but one had escaped. Sure enough, there was a huge trail of blood leading out of the room. Suddenly, he eagerly began to give chase. The group rushed after him as he darted through the dungeon quickly. May was getting very concerned and tried to stop him. She shouted out that Milo wanted to talk to him, but he was extremely dismissive and waved her statement away. She tried to grapple him, but failed to grab hold of him, and before they knew it, they emerged into the corridor of the main library. Gregory, who was leading the charge, suddenly stumbled to a halt. As the party rounded the corner behind, they sure enough saw 3 ghouls stood ahead of them. One of them, however, was none other than a scarred, undead Rock, and he was holding a body. And he jogs down the staircase, takes that right turn. He's following this hemorrhaged blood trail, and he rounds a corner into that main library, and you chase along behind him. And he sort of stumbles to a stop in front of you and points forward. "That's the bastard. Come on, let's get him." And as you round the corner, you see a familiar figure.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I
A
knew this was
cowboy hat wearing,
coming. You.
undead,
Son of a bitch.
rotten-faced Rock. And in his
Yeah.
hand, he has a body. As you round the corner, Rock gives you all like a warm, like genuinely happy smile and lets go of the body. It slumps to the ground. And you see Gregory's eyes lock onto the body. And you look down at the body. And you see Gregory. And suddenly the one in front of you begins to glow this blue hue and flicker. As Rock saw the party arrive, a look of confusion turned to one of genuine joy, and he dropped the corpse with a sickening thud. As Gregory and the group looked down at the body, they suddenly realized something was very wrong. The corpse at Rock's feet was none other than Gregory, and the figure before them suddenly began to flicker and glow a ghostly blue hue. For Gregory, unbeknownst to even himself, was already dead. And that's where we left off, as our party faced down their old friend and Gregory's mind breaks. This session was a great mix of content. We had some really dramatic battles, we had some great roleplay, and some really fun drama. The issue now is that Milo isn't freaking there, so I'm gonna have to figure out that somehow. Honestly, aside from potentially dragging out that reveal that Gregory was already dead a little bit more, I'm really happy that we've now gotten to this moment, and I think the players were genuinely shocked by it. But yeah, this is what happens when you refuse to deal with these backstory problems. Eventually, they're going to have consequences for them to have meaning. Thank you so much for watching. As a reminder, if you do want to take part in the community one-shots, join the Discord and sign up. The Shiver system is super easy to pick up and really fun to play, so come get involved and let me GM for you. Who knows, you might even make it into a campaign diary if the session goes really well. If you liked the video, then please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the campaign diaries. That's all I have for today, so I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye-bye.